Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Planning Board meeting. Today is February 24th, 2020. Time now is about 6:02, and we'll start with the meeting. We'll have invocation by Ms. Hadian and flag salute by Vice Chair Rosati.
We thank you for this day and the many blessings we have received. As this meeting begins this evening, I pray for each person here. Give us listening ears and thoughtful words. Give us presence of mind and an open heart. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in our flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Board Member Gamboa, Board Member Liu,
Present.
Board Member Hadian,
Present.
Vice Chair Rosati,
I am here.
and Chair Atakinian.
Present.
And for the
and-
record, Board Member Gamboa had mentioned he was out because of a work requirement.
Thank you. Any announcements?
Yes, just one. There may be some, just for the sake of people in the audience, there may be someone here that is actually looking for another meeting that's happening at this time, and that is there is a Burbank Housing Rights Workshop tonight, the February 24th from 6 to 8 p.m., and it is in the Community Services Building, and they're going to be going over the new California statewide rent control law, AB 1482. So just in case anybody's in the audience, that's where that meeting is, and not the one that's here tonight for a conditional use permit. So I just wanted to make sure to let people know. And I think we're still getting some people coming in, so some of the staff you might see getting up during the meeting and escorting people over to the CSB.
Thank you for that. This is the time and place for the hearing on project number 19-00000946 concerning an application for a conditional use permit allowing for the incidental sale of beer and wine for on-site consumption in conjunction with the operation of a bona fide public eating place, Veggie Grill. The project is located at 4300 Riverside Drive. Before we begin, do any planning board members have any legal or other conflict of interest relating to this hearing?
No.
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 No. Have any planning board members had any communications, including written or oral, with the applicant or the applicant's representative or any other person?
No.
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 No. Mr. Ramirez, have the notices as required by law been given?
Yes, they have.
Are there any written communications on the
Uh,
matter?
Beyond what was provided in your agenda packet, no, there haven't been any additional comments.
Thank you. Now, will the representative of the Community Development Department please introduce yourself and summarize the matter for us?
Good evening, Chair Atakenian and members of the board. My name is Lucia Huang, and I am a planning technician with the Planning Division. Can I please have the presentation? Thank you. I am here today to present to you the proposed conditional use permit for the property located at 4300 Riverside Drive. The applicant applying for the conditional use permit is the Veggie Grill Incorporated for Veggie Grill, which is an existing restaurant. The Veggie Grill Incorporated is requesting a conditional use permit to allow for the on-site sale and consumption of beer and wine in conjunction with the restaurant. The project is at 4300 Riverside Drive and is zoned MDC2, Media District Limited Commercial. The parcels adjacent to the project site to the north, west, and east are zoned MDC2 with a theater and media-related office, retail and personal services, and full-service sit-down restaurants. To the south, across the abutting alley, are parcels zoned R1 with single-family residences. Here is an aerial showing Veggie Grill's tenant space on the property. There is only one tenant space in use at this location. In the next slide is a picture of the interior of the current Veggie Grill restaurant. The applicant is requesting approval of a conditional use permit to allow for the on-site on-site sale and consumption of beer and wine as an incidental use to the existing restaurant. As part of this request, neither the exterior nor interior of the building will be modified to accommodate the sale of beer and wine. The Burbank Municipal Code limits restaurants with incidental alcohol to no more than 35% of the total revenue to come from alcohol sales. This limitation is intended to ensure that the restaurant continues to operate as a restaurant and that the sale of alcohol is incidental. Veggie Grill is located within a 2,577 square foot tenant space that includes the indoor space and outdoor patios and functions as a full-service sit-down restaurant. The request for a conditional use permit does not require any alterations to the existing layout of the restaurant. The inclusion of alcohol sales would be incidental to the existing restaurant and will not significantly alter the way the restaurant currently operates. In the slide, highlighted in red is where the beer and wine will be stored and/or displayed. In the blue is the outdoor seating, and in the pink is the indoor space. Veggie Grill would operate the incidental sale between its restaurant hours of 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. The alcohol service would stop 30 minutes before closing, and the establishment will require employees who sell or service alcoholic beverages to complete licensee education on alcohol and drugs, a training provided by the California Department of Alcohol and Beverage Control. The additional conditions of approval will ensure that the restaurant use operates in a manner that protects the public health, safety, convenience, and welfare. The project is a commercial property surrounded by other commercial uses, such as the theater and media-related office, mini mall facility, and full-service sit-down restaurants. With the single-family residences to the south of the project site, the CUP process allows the planning board the opportunity to condition the project accordingly to mitigate the nuisances. Previous tenants served beer and wine incidental to the sale and consumption of food, and there are no code enforcement records of detrimental impacts to the surrounding areas. Therefore, it is anticipated that the proposed CUP and associated incidental sale of alcoholic beverages, in conjunction with the continued operation of the restaurant at the project site, will not be detrimental to the surrounding uses. Currently, the project provides a total of 16 parking spaces. The 16 parking spaces for the restaurant is legal nonconforming, and the restaurant is not required to provide additional parking. Additionally, it is staff's assessment that allowing Veggie Grill to sell beer and wine for on-site consumption as an incidental use will not significantly increase the demand for parking. Staff received 6 written comments. 2 of the community members were in support of the proposed project. The four concerns expressed are regarding setting a precedent for fast food restaurants, turning into a drinking establishment, parking and traffic, and health and safety. The food industry recognizes that incidental alcohol is a part of the fast casual dining experience. Examples of similar fast food establishments with alcoholic sales within the city are Chipotle, Blaze Pizza, Doghouse, and Wiener Schnitzel. Additionally, Veggie Grill is requesting the same license as what the previous tenant, Umami Burger, had had. The sale of beer and wine would be ancillary to the restaurant use as regulated by the gross sale revenue and the floor area dedicated to the sale and consumption of alcohol. Additionally, as an incidental use, the demand for parking is not anticipated to significantly increase. And for safety, a condition of approval would require that the employees complete a training that includes detecting signs of alcohol overconsumption. If excessive calls for police service occur for 3 or more consecutive months, the business may be considered a public nuisance and the conditional use permit may be revoked. Therefore, staff has determined that the conditional use permit to allow Veggie Grill to have the incidental sale and consumption of beer and wine in conjunction with a sit-down restaurant is consistent with the zoning code and will have minimal impacts to the surrounding areas. Therefore, staff recommends the Planning Board approve a resolution of the Planning Board of the City of Burbank approving project number 19-0000946 for a conditional use permit allowing for the incidental sale of beer and wine for on-site consumption in conjunction with the operation of a bona fide public eating place, Veggie Grill, located at 4300 Riverside Drive, based on the findings of fact and subject to the recommended conditions of approval. This concludes staff's presentation, and we are available for questions.
Thank you for your presentation. Before we open up the hearing to the public, I will invite the applicant or their representative to address the planning board. You will have a maximum time of 15 minutes to make a presentation.
Hi, good evening. My name is Daphne Goxon. I'm with FE Design and Consulting, and we're the representatives for Veggie Grill. I also have some representatives from Veggie Grill here as well. Mark Miller is the Vice President for Development, and Walter, right? Walter is one of the managers on site at this location. So thank you for having us tonight, and thank you to Lucia for your presentation and all of her hard work. So Veggie Grill opened last summer. They're really excited to be in the community. I think they've really gotten a lot of support from the local community so far. We did review the staff report. We have no issues with the proposed conditions. Veggie Grill is one of the many fast casual businesses that chooses to have alcohol sales, but it generally makes up less than 5% of their sales. One of the reasons places like Chipotle, which most people don't even think of as having beer and wine, choose to do this is really for this veto factor that's hard to measure. But if a whole group is going out to dinner and one person wants a drink, then they'll choose not to go to a specific restaurant if they don't offer this service. So I have no idea how much food sales they might lose out on by not having the alcohol sales, and that's why they decide to request this. But really, for all of these businesses, we work with a lot of restaurants. We have 5 similar fast casual chains that we work with that request beer and wine, and all of them, it's less than 5% of their sales. It's a really small part of what they do. There were some questions about how the alcohol sales might work at a business like this. All alcohol sales have to be done in person at the cashier. They have online ordering in advance and things like that, but there'd be no alcohol sales allowed through those mechanisms to make sure that the staff are checking IDs and making sure they're not serving any intoxicated individuals. There is a patio that was mentioned in some of the letters as a cause for concern. There are large windows in the restaurant that overlook the patio, so they'll always be monitored by staff. There's also, as you saw from the site plan, the parking lot and an alley between the patio and the nearest residential building. And as also was mentioned in the staff report, Umami Burger had alcohol service with a very similar layout, and there were no issues throughout that time. So I think this will be an appropriate use and shouldn't cause any concerns for the local neighbors. Again, the conditions of approval require the business to close by 11 p.m., so there shouldn't be any issues with late night noise. Really, I think that the planning department did a good job coming up with conditions that will ensure that the business is compatible with the residential neighbors, and also remains a restaurant that they couldn't, transform into something else. So I really appreciate your time, and we're all available for questions as well.
Thank you for your presentation. We will now open the public hearing to hear from any persons in the audience who wish to speak on the matter. Each person may address the planning board for a maximum time of 3 minutes. Well, no one? Would the representative of the Community Development Department like to make any further comments?
No further comments. Thank you.
Does the board have any questions of staff or the applicant? No questions.
Actually, one question. I have one question.
Yes, Ms. Adia?
It's a question either for staff or project owner. What's the business hours for this restaurant? The business hours.
The current business hours are from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. I now declare the hearing closed and the planning board will now deliberate. What's the planning board's pleasure? Vice Chair Rosati?
Thank you, Chair. I've frequently gone to this restaurant. It's nice to have a veggie option in the neighborhood. I think the food and atmosphere is conducive to beer and wine incidental. The way the patio is situated, it's kind of tucked away, and there's kind of a bathroom structure and a storage unit. So it's tucked far enough away from the residential where I don't think it's a concern. So I can certainly support this application.
Ms. Hadian?
Just, I'm in support of the CUP, but 10 a.m. isn't it a little bit too early to have alcoholic beverages? I think if that could be pushed to maybe 11 a.m., that would be better.
Wouldn't 11 a.m. be kind of early too?
It's closer to lunch. Let's say it's closer to lunch, and a lot of people might have early lunch, especially because of the letters that we received and the parking, and if that causes the traffic to start earlier, that's my only concern.
I think the safeguard here is the fact that any complaints, 3 complaints, and they're out. It's almost like baseball. 3 strikes, you're out. So I don't know. I mean, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., I'm not sure if it's going to make that much of a difference. If there's going to be complaints, there's going to be complaints at 11 or 10. So I don't know. Would you want to save us the amendment? Maybe?
I'm making the recommendation, but it's everyone's decision. So,
Ms. Lou?
I don't have an issue with the time of the alcohol. I support the resolution that the staff has recommended.
Vice Chair Rosati?
I can make a motion if you'd like, Chair.
Yes, let's hear it.
Adopt the resolution of the Planning Board of the City of Burbank approving project number 19-00000946 for the conditional use permit, allowing for the incidental sale and beer and wine for the on-site consumption of, in conjunction with the operation of a bona fide public eating place, Veggie Grill, located at 4300 Riverside Drive, based on the findings, fact, and subject to the recommended conditions of approval, Exhibit A.
I'll second.
Can we take a...
Board Member Liu,
Yes.
Chair Atukenian,
Yes.
Board Member Rosati,
Yes.
Board Member Hadian.
yes.
All right. Now we'll move on to oral communications. Oral communications are limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any cards completed? No. All right. Any reports?
No
Mr.
reports.
Ramirez, no reports? All right. Approval of the minutes of February 10th meeting.
So
Someone would
moved.
like a motion?
I can make a motion.
Yes, Ms. Hadian?
For minutes, yes.
Second?
Board Member
Second.
Liu,
Yes.
Chair Atukenian,
Yes.
Board Member Rosati,
Yes.
and Board Member Hadian.
Yes.
Any items for future meetings? No? Well, I have one item. Is it possible to combine our, I see the agenda here for March 9 and March 23rd. Can we combine March 9th meeting with March 23rd? I'm not sure if this really falls under future items, but
So the March 9th citywide complete streets,
yes.
that presentation is an hour long. And also, you're probably going to have some discussion regarding it. So it's basically like having 2 items on one agenda. I guarantee you're going to take the full time to go through this thing. It's over 200 pages worth of items, and it's a policy component. So we purposely didn't put something on the agenda, which I mentioned at the last meeting.
Correct, I understand. 200 pages, huh?
Yes, 200 pages. Planners like to write, sorry. Apologize.
All right, moving on. Any city planner comments, Mr. Ramirez?
Just the ones I just mentioned. Other than that, we'll be getting ready for the March 9th meeting.
Thank you. Well, now I declare the February 24th, 2020, Ms. Hadian, I'm sorry.
You wanted to follow up on the residential guidelines?
Yes. Any updates on the residential scheme, revisiting those
Scheme.
issues?
No, we had mentioned that it would be scheduled for a future meeting. That was
Tentative date?
in the future. We're working on it. We've got a handful of other items that we'll be bringing forth, but it's on the docket. I just can't tell you exactly when. Soon, though. Soon.
Soon. All right. So I declare the planning board meeting of February 24th, 2020 closed.